Imagine lying in bed next to someone you chose, someone you promised your life to. Yet, in that very moment, you feel utterly alone. This isn't just the loneliness that comes from being without someone. It's something much more complex and difficult to articulate. It's the loneliness that creeps in when you're with someone every day, yet still feel invisible, unheard, like you're just two strangers cohabiting a space. If you've experienced this, you know it cuts deeper than any other kind of loneliness. You're not meant to feel this way. You made a choice to be with this person, and still, here you are. 1. Psychologists refer to this as emotional distance. It doesn't just happen overnight. It builds up slowly, almost silently over the years. It's in the conversations that never go deeper, the evenings spent in the same room but feeling worlds apart, the questions that go unasked and the answers that never come. You didn't wake up one day and decide to drift apart. Life just happened. Kids came along, work took over, and responsibilities piled up. Somewhere along the way, you and your partner stopped really seeing each other. Not because love vanished, but because maintaining a connection takes time, attention, and effort, things that can easily slip through the cracks. 2. At some point, the dynamic of your relationship changed. You transitioned from being lovers and partners to more like roommates. You function well together, managing the household, coordinating schedules, making decisions, but that warmth, that feeling of truly being known by another person, has quietly faded away. Research in relationship psychology shows that couples who focus solely on their responsibilities and lose that emotional connection often describe their marriage as empty, not necessarily bad or broken, just hollow. And that hollowness brings its own kind of heartbreak. 3. One of the hardest things about feeling lonely in a marriage is that you end up grieving all by yourself. When something weighs on you, whether it's a tough day, a letdown, or worries about what's ahead, you might not reach out to your partner like you used to. Maybe you've tried, but it didn't land the way you hoped. Or perhaps you've figured out over time that some feelings are better kept to yourself. So you carry that sadness quietly. You put on a smile at dinner, you go through the motions, and when the house is finally quiet at night, you're left alone with emotions that have nowhere to go. Psychologists refer to this as emotional suppression, and over time, it doesn't just hurt the relationship, it hurts you too. 4. Here's something many people in this situation bear in silence: guilt. You look around at your life, a home, a partner, maybe kids or grandkids, and you think, what right do I have to feel lonely? You start comparing your struggles to those of people who are truly alone, and you downplay your own pain. You tell yourself you're being ungrateful. You convince yourself that this is just how long marriages are. But psychology tells us that emotional loneliness isn't about ingratitude, it's a basic human need that's not being met. And those unmet needs don't just fade away when you ignore them, they only get louder. 5. Think back to the last time you had a genuine conversation with your partner. Not about the day-to-day stuff, the kids, the bills, the schedule. I mean a real conversation about your dreams, your fears, and what you're feeling deep down. For many couples who have been together for decades, these heart-to-heart talks become few and far between. And when they're missing, the silence that fills the space isn't comforting, it's isolating. Research shows that emotional intimacy, that feeling of being truly understood by your partner, is one of the biggest factors in relationship satisfaction. When it fades away, both partners feel it, but often neither knows how to rekindle it. So the silence lingers and the distance only widens. 6. There's a unique kind of pain that comes from feeling invisible to the one person who's meant to see you the most. Your partner might look at you every day, yet still miss the real you, the you that's evolved through all the ups and downs of life, the worries that keep you up at night, the things that spark joy in your heart, and that quiet fatigue you carry around. When that acknowledgement is absent in your closest relationship, it breeds a loneliness that no amount of socializing can fill. You could be surrounded by friends and family who care deeply, yet still feel that specific ache of not being truly understood by your partner. 7. Here's something to think about. Over the years, we all change. The person you are at 45, 50, or 55 is not the same person who walked down the aisle. Life experiences have shaped you, and you've grown in ways that might even surprise you. Sometimes the loneliness in a marriage isn't just about feeling disconnected, it's about your partner not knowing who you've become. And you might not fully grasp who they have turned into either. Psychologists refer to this as parallel development. Two people evolving under the same roof but heading in different directions. It's not a failure, it's just life. Acknowledging this is the first step toward making a change. 8. For many, the loneliness in their marriage persists not because they don't crave connection, but because they fear the consequences of being honest. What if you share your feelings of loneliness and your partner doesn't get it? What if it sparks a conflict that feels impossible to resolve? What if voicing the truth makes everything feel more real and fragile? So you choose to stay silent. You protect the peace and keep things calm on the surface. Yet, psychology suggests that the vulnerability it takes to say, "I feel lonely," might be the very thing that helps bridge the gap. Those words can be scary, but the silence can be even more damaging. 9. If you've been reading this and feeling a sense of recognition, know that you're definitely not alone. Research indicates that marital loneliness is one of the most overlooked and under-discussed types of loneliness in adult life. Many people choose to stay quiet about it due to feelings of shame, a sense of commitment, or concern about how it might look to others. Yet, behind closed doors, countless individuals in long-term relationships are experiencing the same feelings you are. This loneliness doesn't reflect your worth or suggest that your marriage was a mistake. Instead, it's a signal that something important needs your attention, care, and an open conversation. Here's what psychology wants you to understand. Feeling lonely in your marriage doesn't mean it's doomed. It simply means that a part of it has gone quiet, and quiet things can find their voice again if given the right environment. The yearning you feel for closeness, for being truly understood, for that warmth that once felt so natural, is not a sign of weakness. It's evidence that you still care and desire something genuine. Those who still seek something real often have more capacity for connection than they realize. You haven't lost your ability to be close to someone, you've just been carrying too much for too long without anyone noticing. And maybe, just maybe, it's time for that to change. If this resonates with you, consider subscribing because the next video might finally help you articulate something you've been feeling for a long time but never had the words to express.